Chapter 1. The cycle begins. Leo blinked a few times, trying to push away the weight of exhaustion. The harsh glow of his phone's screen burned his tired eyes. New post in 3 minutes, the notification read at the top of his screen. He let out a long sigh. No time to think. He quickly fixed his messy hair, adjusted the ring light, and forced a smile. Then he hit record. "Hey guys, I've got an awesome video for you today." His voice was energetic, upbeat, but inside only one thought echoed: this never ends. It was always the same. Every day. The cycle repeated itself with no breaks, no pauses. Leo couldn't remember the last time he had actually slept. His phone screen was cluttered with hastily scribbled notes, video ideas, trends, unfinished scripts. No rest. No breaks. Just content, content, content. Soft yet unsettling background music. 6:30 a.m. The alarm went off. He woke up already holding his phone, checking his numbers. Always the numbers. The algorithm didn't forgive a drop in engagement. 7 a.m. Brushing his teeth, he scrolled through competitor videos. What's trending today? What do I need to copy? 7:30 a.m. He set up his camera and started filming. If his tone was off, if he looked tired, he had to reshoot. The algorithm favored high-energy videos. 9 a.m. Editing. Fast cuts, flashy effects, intense music. The goal was to keep viewers hooked for as long as possible. 10:30 a.m. First post of the day. The first 15 minutes were crucial. If engagement dropped, he'd get a message from his agency. 12 p.m. Team meeting. More engagement, more effort, more videos. It didn't matter if he was exhausted. 2 p.m. Instagram Live. He smiled, interacted, answered questions, all while feeling lightheaded. 4 p.m. More editing. More interaction. No breaks. 10 p.m. Final post of the day. Could he breathe now? No. 2 a.m. His phone buzzed again. More shorts needed. Competitor videos are outperforming yours. Leo closed his eyes. His heartbeat quickened. If he didn't post more, the algorithm would bury him. He dragged himself out of bed, grabbed his phone, and hit record. He no longer knew who he was without this screen. Chapter 2. Trapped in the system. Leo didn't know how long he had been staring at the screen. His vision blurred for a moment before refocusing. His latest video was live. The first 5 minutes were critical. He refreshed the page. Not enough likes. His stomach tightened. Refresh. Comments weren't coming in fast enough. Refresh. View count still low. Then, the notification popped up. Your post is underperforming. Consider reworking content. Leo's breath hitched. It didn't matter that he had spent hours scripting, filming, and editing. The algorithm had spoken, and the algorithm was never wrong. Music shifts to a low, anxious hum. He scrolled through his feed. Other influencers, some of them his friends, were thriving. Viral clips, skyrocketing engagement. They had cracked the code. Why couldn't he? Maybe if he added another trending sound. Maybe if he changed the thumbnail. Maybe if he smiled more. He glanced at the clock. 3:42 a.m. He should sleep. But what if tomorrow his views plummeted? What if he woke up to find himself invisible, lost in the algorithm's graveyard? Leo had seen it happen before. Creators who were everywhere one day and gone the next. Shadow banned. Forgotten. Erased. The illusion of choice. Leo used to believe he was in control. When he first started creating content, it was exciting. Freedom, creativity, success, all on his own terms. At least, that's what he thought. Now every post felt like a desperate attempt to stay afloat. Every trend was an order, not a choice. Post in the morning. Reply to comments immediately. Go live in the afternoon. Push out a short before bed. If he stopped, even for a moment, he would fall behind. He wasn't alone. In private, other creators whispered the same fears. I took one weekend off, and my reach tanked. If I don't post daily, my engagement never recovers. I swear the algorithm punishes me when I miss a trend. Leo clenched his jaw. He had felt it too. A silent, invisible pressure. Unwritten rules that dictated who succeeded and who faded into obscurity. An unspoken warning. A few weeks ago, a friend, Mia, had tried to step away. She had built a massive audience, but the pressure had gotten to her. "I just need a break," she had said. "I can't keep up with this pace." Then she vanished. Her posts stopped appearing in Leo's feed. He searched for her username, nothing. She wasn't just inactive, she was erased. When he finally got a hold of her, her voice was shaken. "They took everything," she whispered. "I tried to come back, but it's like I don't exist anymore." Leo's stomach turned. Was it a warning? A punishment? The algorithm controlled everything. A single, sharp notification sound. Leo flinches. No way out. Leo ran a hand down his face. He could barely think straight, but he had to keep going. He tapped his screen. New video. New chance. He forced himself to sit up, blinking against the fatigue. One more post. One more chance to stay relevant. As the camera light blinked on, his voice came out smooth, effortless. "Hey guys, today's video is gonna blow your mind." He smiled, because if he stopped smiling, even for a second, the algorithm might decide he was no longer worth keeping. Chapter 3: The Pressure to Perform. Leo's smile lingered for a few seconds after the camera stopped recording. He held the expression as if the lens were still watching him. Then it vanished. His shoulders slumped, his face hollow. He was exhausted. The recording light was off, but it didn't feel like the performance had ended. Because it hadn't. He picked up his phone, fingers moving automatically. Check analytics. Track engagement. Adjust strategy. His newest post had been up for 5 minutes. Not enough shares. His stomach twisted. He had done everything right, followed the trends, kept the energy up, used the perfect hashtags. So why wasn't it working? Music shifts, low and tense. Leo knew what came next. His agency's messages were always the same. Push harder. Find a new angle. Create more. It didn't matter that he had already spent hours perfecting the video. The algorithm was unpredictable. It never guaranteed success. It only demanded more. The price of falling behind. Leo scrolled through his feed. Other creators were posting constantly. His competitors were always one step ahead, riding trends before he even noticed them. One of them, Jackson, had blown up overnight. His latest video had 2.3 million views. Leo checked Jackson's profile. 7 posts today. 7. Leo clenched his jaw. That was the game. Not quality, not creativity, just volume. More content, more uploads, more time spent crafting something that could disappear in seconds. His fingers hovered over the screen. He knew what he had to do. Another video. Right now. He didn't have an idea. It didn't matter. He grabbed his phone and hit record. A never-ending cycle. "Hey guys, quick question. What's the craziest trend you've seen today?" His voice was smooth. His face relaxed. He looked alive. But inside, he felt numb. It wasn't even about the content anymore. Just staying in motion. Leo finished the clip, added captions, chose a trending sound, and posted. 11:47 p.m. He set the phone down and exhaled. It was done. For now. But even as he stared at the dark ceiling, the pressure didn't fade. What if the video flopped? What if his numbers dropped overnight? What if tomorrow, he woke up and nobody cared? Distant, faint vibration of a phone. The sound that never stops. Leo's phone buzzed against the nightstand. His pulse jumped. Not now. Not again. He ignored it. Another vibration. Then another. His hands were shaking when he reached for the screen. It wasn't just notifications. It was his agency. Call ASAP. Urgent. Leo's mouth went dry. Urgent? At midnight? He hesitated, then tapped the screen. A familiar voice filled his ear. "Leo, what's going on?" It was Nate, his agency rep. His voice was clipped, impatient. "Your engagement has dipped 3% this week. That's not acceptable." Leo swallowed hard. 3%? That was nothing. A rounding error. But to them, it was everything. "You're getting lazy, man. We need more. More videos. More interaction. More consistency." Leo gripped his phone tighter. "More. More. Always more. You want to keep this career, right?" Nate's voice was smooth but sharp. A warning. Leo closed his eyes. He had no choice. "Yeah. I got it." "Good. Fix it." The call ended. Leo's phone screen reflected his hollow stare. He was so tired. But the algorithm never slept. And neither could he. Chapter 4, The Breaking Point. Leo stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror. Dark circles beneath his eyes. Skin pale under the harsh fluorescent light. His hands trembled as he splashed cold water on his face. He had to wake up. He had to keep going. His latest video was already scheduled. He had another one to edit, and then a live stream. He didn't even know what he would talk about. Did it matter? The algorithm didn't care about his words, just his presence. Soft drip of water. Silent stretches. Leo leaned on the sink, gripping the edges so tightly his knuckles turned white. When was the last time he took a real break? The thought sent a spike of fear through his chest. A break meant lost momentum. Lost momentum meant lost engagement. Lost engagement meant being forgotten. He swallowed hard and forced himself to stand straight. Push through it. Keep moving. He had done it before. He could do it again. A body on autopilot. The next few hours passed in a blur. Post. Edit. Engage. Respond. Repeat. Leo followed the motions, his body moving like a machine. He hardly tasted the food he forced himself to eat. His fingers typed replies to comments before his brain fully processed them. His mind felt like static, but he couldn't stop. His agency had sent another message. Boost engagement by 10% this week. Find a way. Find a way. There was always a way. He could do another challenge video. Maybe fake a controversy. Or, Leo's thoughts were cut off by a sharp pain in his head. A migraine. Another one. The pounding was relentless, his vision blurring at the edges. Distant ringing. His breathing uneven. He needed sleep. But instead, he picked up his phone. He had content to make. The collapse. Leo set up his camera. The ring light buzzed softly, a faint electrical hum filling the silent room. His hands felt heavy as he tapped the record button. "Hey guys! Quick update." His voice cut off. For a second, the world tilted. His breath caught in his throat. His body swayed. Then, blackness. A loud thud as his body hit the floor. The algorithm doesn't wait. The next thing Leo heard was a muffled ringing. His phone. His body felt disconnected, distant, as if he were floating. Slowly, his vision cleared. He was on the floor. How long had he been out? His fingers twitched as he reached for his phone, ignoring the pain radiating through his skull. The screen lit up. Notifications. Messages. A missed call from Nate. His breath hitched. He opened his inbox. Where's the live stream? His chest tightened. He pushed himself up, limbs shaking. No time to process. No time to feel. He had to fix it. Leo stumbled back to his chair, turned the camera back on, and forced a smile. "Hey guys! Sorry for the delay. The show had to go on. Because if he stopped now, the algorithm would move on without him." Chapter 5, A Digital Prison. Leo's fingers trembled as he scrolled through his notifications. His collapse should have been a wake-up call. But instead, all he could think about was how much time he had lost. 15 minutes. 15 minutes of inactivity. His engagement could take a hit. The algorithm punished inconsistency. He forced himself upright, every muscle aching. His head was still spinning, but there was no time for that. The live stream. Leo opened the app, pasted a fake excuse. Technical issues. Going live now. And hit start. The screen lit up. His own face stared back at him, hollow eyes hidden behind a forced grin. "Hey guys, sorry about that, you know how tech can be." The comments poured in. "No worries bro, we thought you disappeared. Dude, you look kinda tired." Leo ignored that last one. He couldn't afford to look tired. He wasn't tired. He was fine. He had to be fine. The sound of artificial cheers. Notifications pinging rapidly. The world watches, but no one sees. For the next hour, he performed. Smiling, laughing, engaging. His body screamed for rest, but his numbers were recovering. That was all that mattered. He was halfway through a sentence when another notification popped up. A direct message. From Mia. Leo hesitated. It had been weeks since she vanished. Since the algorithm erased her. His heart pounded as he opened it. "You need to stop." Music shifts, low tense. Leo's throat went dry. Was this some kind of joke? Before he could respond, another message appeared. "It's not worth it, Leo. Trust me." He stared at the screen, mind racing. This was Mia. The same Mia who had dominated every platform, who had once been on top. What had happened to her? And why was she warning him? Leo's chat flooded with messages. "Dude, you good? Why'd you stop talking? Is he lagging?" His pulse jumped. He was losing them. He forced out a laugh. "Sorry guys, just checking some messages. Anyway," and just like that, he buried Mia's words. An unspoken truth. The moment the stream ended, Leo collapsed onto his bed. His head spun, exhaustion clawing at the edges of his mind. But he couldn't stop thinking about Mia. "You need to stop." What did she mean? Was it burnout? The pressure? The system itself? Leo had always known this life was hard. But wasn't that the price of success? That's what they told him. If you want it bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes. Hadn't he done that? Hadn't he given everything to this? Then why did it feel like he was losing himself? Soft, eerie silence. The distant hum of a phone charging. He reached for his device, hesitating before typing a reply. "Mia, what happened to you?" He hit send. No response. Just the soft glow of his phone screen. The only thing in his life that never truly turned off. Chapter 6. The Ghosts of the System. Leo lay in bed, eyes locked on his phone. Mia still hadn't responded. His fingers hovered over the screen. Should he message again? Ask her what she meant? A part of him didn't want to know. He had spent years pushing forward, drowning out doubt with more content, more engagement, more work. But Mia had been at the top, just like him. And then she was gone. The sound of a deep breath. A quiet exhale. Leo forced himself up. He couldn't afford to waste time. He checked his notifications. His engagement was still holding steady, but his agency's latest message made his stomach tighten. Your momentum is slowing. Double your output this week. Double. Leo clenched his jaw. Was there even anything left to give? Music swells, a low and anxious hum. A warning too late. The next day, Leo buried himself in work. Videos. Edits. Live streams. Non-stop. If he just kept going, he wouldn't have to think. Wouldn't have to question. But the doubt followed him like a shadow. Every time he glanced at his phone, Mia's last message burned in his mind. Then finally, a reply. Notification ping. A sharp intake of breath. Leo's hands shook as he opened the chat. Leo, you're not in control. You never were. A chill ran down his spine. What the hell did that mean? Before he could type a response, another message appeared. I tried to beat the system. Thought I could outwork it. But the moment I slowed down, it replaced me. You're just another number to it. Leo's chest tightened. No, that wasn't true. It couldn't be true. He had worked too hard for this. Another message. I stopped posting for 3 days. That was all it took. Silence. A ringing sound in Leo's ears. 3 days. That was all it took for Mia to disappear. The illusion of control. Leo's breath came fast and shallow. His mind raced. He had seen it happen before. Creators who burned out, took a break, and never recovered. The algorithm didn't just forget them, it erased them. Was Mia warning him? Or was she too late? His phone buzzed again. His agency. Engagement down 2%. Post more. Live stream tonight. Leo's fingers tightened around his phone. His body ached. His mind felt like it was unraveling. But he didn't have a choice. He had to perform. He had to prove Mia wrong. The screen lit up. Hey guys! Hope you're having an amazing day. Chapter 7. The system tightens its grip. Leo stared at his reflection in the camera. His face looked the same. At least, he thought it did. But something felt off. His own eyes looked unfamiliar, too hollow, too distant. The live stream chat buzzed with activity, but his mind barely processed the words. You good, man? Bro looks exhausted. Damn, he fell off. That last comment hit harder than it should have. Fell off. That was every creator's worst nightmare. The system didn't care how hard you worked. The second you slowed down, you were disposable. Leo forced a grin, ignoring the weight pressing against his chest. Nah, I'm good. Just been grinding, you know how it is. He powered through the next hour, forcing laughs, hyping up his audience, pretending. By the time he ended the stream, his entire body felt like dead weight. He slumped back in his chair, exhaling slowly. Faint notification ping. Then another. And another. His stomach twisted. More demands. More expectations. More. It was never enough. The algorithm never sleeps. Leo scrolled through his analytics. Views were dropping. Not by much, but enough. He knew what that meant. His agency's message came exactly 3 minutes later. Engagement slipping. Urgent meeting tomorrow. 8 a.m. sharp. Leo closed his eyes. 8 a.m. That gave him what? 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep if he was lucky? His entire body screamed for rest. But his mind wouldn't turn off. What if he wasn't working hard enough? He grabbed his phone, heart pounding as he hit record. Hey guys, quick late night update. Another video. Another performance. Another desperate attempt to stay ahead. The faint click of a button. The hum of a phone screen, always awake. A system that consumes. The next morning, Leo sat across from Nate, his agency rep. Nate's face was unreadable, eyes scanning the data on his tablet. Then finally, Leo, we need to talk. Leo swallowed hard. Your engagement is slipping. You know what that means, right? Leo nodded. He knew. Then let's fix it. You're not posting enough. Leo blinked. Not enough? He was already working every waking second. What more could he possibly do? Nate leaned forward. You want to stay at the top. You have to evolve. Give them more. Be bigger, better. Change the game. Leo forced himself to nod. He had no choice. He had built his entire life around this. If he stopped now, it would all be for nothing. Silence. A deep breath. Okay, he said finally. I'll do more. Nate smiled. That's what I like to hear. A choice that wasn't a choice. Leo walked out of the meeting in a daze. His phone buzzed. A message from Mia. You're running out of time. His fingers hovered over the screen. What did she mean? Was she trying to warn him? Or was it already too late? His hands trembled as he put his phone away. No, he couldn't think about that. He had to focus, had to work harder, had to keep pushing. Because if he stopped, the system would erase him. Hey guys, big things coming soon. Stay tuned. Chapter 8, the final upload. Leo stared at the camera. The record button blinked. Waiting. His latest video was already scheduled. His next livestream was planned. Everything was on track. And yet, he couldn't move. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, but his body felt frozen, like a machine that had finally overheated. He checked his messages. Nate, number's still low. We need another viral hit. Find a way. His agency's pressure was nothing new. But this time it felt different. It felt final. His gaze drifted to Mia's last message. You're running out of time. Leo's stomach twisted. She had been right about everything else. What if she was right about this too? Erased. Leo scrolled through his past videos. Millions of views. Thousands of comments. Years of his life. It felt like an empire. But was it really his? The algorithm decided what thrived and what disappeared. He had seen it happen before. He had seen Mia vanish. One day, she was at the top. The next, her numbers dropped, and the system erased her. Leo's pulse quickened. Would he be next? He opened his analytics. A cold chill ran down his spine. His engagement had dropped 5%. That was all it took. The system moves on. Leo clicked on Mia's profile. It was still there, but barely. Her latest posts had almost no engagement. The algorithm had buried her. She wasn't trending. She wasn't anywhere. She had been replaced. And soon, so would he. His fingers trembled as he reached for his phone. Mia, what do I do? The message sent. No reply. His chest tightened. There was no escape. He could keep pushing, keep fighting, keep performing. Or he could disappear. The last choice. Leo's phone buzzed. A single message from Mia. There's only one way out. Leo stared at the screen, pulse pounding. Did she mean quitting? Could he even do that? He imagined it, turning off his phone, walking away. Silence. Freedom. A life beyond the screen. But what if he wasn't built for that anymore? What if there was nothing left outside of this? His hand hovered over the Go Live button. This was all he knew. All he had ever known. The algorithm demanded more. And he had nothing left to give.